Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dawg.
Mike, it is good to see you again. You had a big NFL Sunday. All your takes in the Take Factory are coming alive.
Well, I would say there's a few I need to apologize for. I think the biggest one, I think Chargers fans will be happy. I think I have to pull back on the hate for Justin Herbert a little bit. I still don't love Justin Herbert and the Chargers, but I will say I'm going to apologize for that take, and we'll see what happens. It's only week 3. Anything could change.
Why were you shitting on Justin Herbert? I've been calling him the next Joe Montana through 2 games. It hasn't really changed through 3 games. They're going to play the Giants next week. It's not going to change again. So, where were you wrong at?
I just feel like coming into the season, I thought he was going to kind of keep getting worse and kind of be like a Trevor Lawrence, where there's like this hope for something that maybe would never be there. And I think it might just be coaching. I don't know what it is, but we can see that a change in scenery or a new head coach could give you a new life, and we see that with Indiana Jones too. So you see, my first apology to the Chargers fans.
That's where I was going. I was going to celebrate you for your Indiana Jones takes.
Yes.
I didn't think you were going to start with the Herbert thing. The Chargers fans, there's 3 of them on planet Earth. They'll be okay, Mike.
I know.
It's the Colts and Indiana Jones that I'm excited for. This year, Sam Darnold, the guy looks amazing. The Colts would have been a great pick in Survivor this past week against the Titans. We should be picking on Cam Ward and the Titans until they fix that situation. It's really bad. Indiana Jones looks legitimate. One of my favorite stats right now, he is 3-0. Saquon Barkley is 3-0. Those two are 6-0, and the Giants are 0-3. How does a Giants fan live with themselves at this point?
Did you now listen? I definitely didn't get Indiana Jones from the NBC broadcast, but they brought up Indiana Jones on the broadcast.
Mike, you don't know this, but I told them about Indiana Jones last week. I did. I told them. I gave it to them in the meeting on Wednesday. They used it on NBC Sunday. They wanted to give you the trademark on it. They just couldn't credit the Sports Hangover for some reason. They just couldn't do
next time. I got to come up with another nickname for a comeback player in a new city.
I swear, the first time I ever heard Indiana Jones, it was from you. And then all last week after the pod, everyone was saying it. Cam Newton on First Take, the whole gang is saying it. And it's really like, what changed? Well, he's now in a city where there's no pressure, and he now has a head coach who knows what he's doing. And the Giants need to look around and say, we've already moved the stadium to New Jersey. Should we take it further? Should we go out to the suburbs? Because we can't succeed here in the big city.
I mean, you know what they have to do, Jeremy. They have to fire that damn coach that has been there through Saquon leaving, Daniel Jones leaving. Because Daniel Jones did have that one time when he was like really good and got him that like $100 million contract that like 1 year.
All these quarterbacks have like one stretch. Tua had a stretch, and Lawrence had a stretch, and Stroud had a stretch. And now you look around and it's like these guys actually might suck, and you're locked in for a while.
Well, I want to talk about Stroud too, because I think Stroud is somebody that is obviously regressing, not playing that great. Where do you feel like, because I have a whole bunch of questions here. I mean, obviously Indiana Jones is one of them. But Stroud, he feels like I don't want to bet on him. I don't want, I feel like this week you could be like, oh, I could maybe play. Houston is playing. Who's Houston playing? Are they playing
They're
Tennessee?
playing Tennessee. And I know you're in a pickle this week because you don't have the Bills to use in Survivor. And I do, and you don't. And we'll get to that here in the show. But you might have to look at the Texans. You're right about not trusting CJ Stroud. Mike, I went into... He is that too. He needs to sprout a win at some point. They're 0-3. I went into the Take Factory and I was thinking about what's going on with CJ Stroud. What's going on with Michael Penix in Atlanta? What's going on with Tua in Miami? Exited the Take Factory with an amazing take. Here it is.
Let's hear it. Well, yeah, let's go.
Are there certain cities in the South where you just can't succeed and win? Houston, Miami, Atlanta. What do they have in common, Mike? They have this rare combination of nightlife, good weather. They're all spread out cities. People live 50 minutes, an hour away from these stadiums. Very little sports history, so it's not passed down through generations. These 3 quarterbacks, Stroud, Penix, Tua, Texans, Falcons, Dolphins, they're all regressing. All their franchises suck, and all the cities they play in share similar characteristics.
So are they on Indian tribal burial grounds or something?
The Dolphins are, yes, definitely. Okay. We knew the Mikasukis control Miami. We know that.
It just, you know what it is? I feel like everybody thinks when you get a quarterback, it is, oh, we're good. We can just fill in some places here and there and don't really have to worry about it. I think you get a little cocky going into it, right? Tua had that great year, and now Mike McDaniels, people are like claiming like he's showing up drunk at press meetings. He doesn't make much sense at the press meetings. But when he was happy, at least it was like a happy version of that. Now it's like a sad Mike McDaniel or whatever his name is.
His words aren't making sense, Mike.
Yeah.
Like, we make sense on the podcast every week.
Sometimes.
McDaniel can't string these words together for his press conference. It's a little ridiculous when you can't communicate as a head coach.
It's just, I don't know. It almost feels like people catch on quickly in the league with defenses, but also the rules have been changed. Like, I don't know what was going on yesterday, but I've never seen more block kicks in my life. What happened yesterday? Did they deflate the ball so it goes slower through the air? Because I swear to God, I turned on the TV. It's like block kick, block kick, block kick. It's like, what? This didn't happen for the first 2 weeks. Probably didn't happen for the whole 18 weeks last year. And it all of a sudden happens all day yesterday.
The Rams kicker was kicking in slow motion. I want to talk about the Eagles-Rams game, but just finish the take factory.
Okay.
What do you think of the idea that these southern cities who don't have a lot of sports history just can't have successful franchise?
I mean, I guess you gotta. So are we mixing in the Titans,
Sure.
the Panthers?
Sure.
We got the Falcons.
I would
Titans,
say the
Panthers,
Saints
Houston.
modern day, they had a good run with Breeze and Sean Payton. They pulled him out of that, but they're back in that rut now.
I just think it's the cockiness of the team, because you could even look at Trevor Lawrence when Trevor Lawrence was in Jacksonville. It's like he's gonna be great. Here are his weapons, and then they're not good. Tua, same thing. It's like, oh my God, he's gonna be so good. Next year we're gonna win the Super Bowl. No way. It's the Panthers. I don't know if the Panthers are really doing it, but like the Panthers traded their.
They did it yesterday, right?
Well, they did it yesterday, which is also a question of how bad is the other team. But I think the whole idea of like these younger quarterbacks when they come in, there's a lot of hope, and that's what you basically hope your team, your quarterback is like Bo Nix, and maybe you can like withstand the second year. And I don't know. I just feel like we have a lot of expectations for these guys, and not a lot of. You don't get to sit and watch anymore. Like Jordan Love probably was the last quarterback that got to sit and watch. You could call him, top 5 all-time quarterbacks, maybe top 10, something like that. Like he got to sit there and watch him. He literally has characteristics of Aaron Rodgers when he throws off his feet and throws like he looks like Aaron Rodgers sometimes throwing the ball. And I feel like we don't have that anymore. So I think that's why you're seeing this like second coming of like Indiana Jones, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. You see all these guys, they're like fucking 35. Like, I'm back. Here I am. That's what
I like that idea. The resurgence, the comeback guys are the ones you want to invest in, not the young guys who are being rushed to the field. We started the show talking about the Giants and Russell Wilson's struggles. Jackson Dart's right there. They're going to rush him to the field. He might not be ready. It might behoove them to keep him on the bench all year, but you cannot watch Russell Wilson play football all year, so you need to bring him in at some point soon. And so maybe you're right. Maybe they're being rushed out there too much. Penix sat for 15 or 16 games last year behind Kirk Cousins. He came out hot. Now his record's 0-4 when the team scores 7 points or more. It's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
You mentioned the kicks. The Rams kicker,
yeah.
he was kicking in slow motion, right? He was like not running up to the ball. He was like taking the smallest strides, letting his line be demolished. That happened twice. Also, Mike, Rams plus 3.5 was a loser in that game. That line was 3.5. The Eagles are about to win by 1. Rams cover. Big man touchdown, like the fastest big man ever in recorded history. He just could have fell down, but he just kept going. And so I knew, I didn't know what the line was in real time. I just knew it would affect the over or the line in some way. And of course, Rams plus 3.5 bettors are pained today. They were sick after.
It's just like what I hate about when Philly wins is Jalen Hurts on the sideline just doing a face like this. Just like no smile, no excitement.
Joyless.
Just like, can we get something out of that man when you guys are winning the game, like on a big man block? And I've never seen like a 375-pound man run that fast. And no one wanted to catch him.
No one ever has, Mike. It was the fastest 18 miles an hour big man touchdown. The fastest speed ever recorded for a 300-plus pound man in NFL history.
It was crazy, yes. I mean, yesterday was a wild day. All right, I have some questions here. I said, Panthers, are they good? Like I was writing down notes yesterday. Are the Panthers good? Are we saying they're good?
Well, they went back to our pod last week, and they they acted like it didn't matter right from the jump for once. We said Bryce Young, he has issues where the pressure, when he has pressure, he can't do it. When the pressure's off, when they're down early, he can do it all. And they went out there and played like they were down 30-0 from the jump. He was spreading it out. He was scoring early. The defense was working. And then once they got the lead, he can't mess it up because the pressure's off again, obviously.
Doesn't
and
matter.
So if they're ever up 7-0, 14-0, that game was over in the first half because Bryce Young doesn't blow leads. He just doesn't like the pressure of coming back from one. So I think the Panthers might actually be okay when they spread the ball out like they did yesterday.
All right. My next question I put here, can Seattle now win the division, not because of yesterday's game, but because of all the injuries to San Francisco and Arizona? James Conner, something, broken ankle, something. They would not show the replay again. Don't even want to see it. Saw too much crazy stuff on the internet the last few weeks. San Francisco, tons of injuries. I know Brock's coming back maybe this week.
Bosa's out for the year.
Bosa's out. So can Seattle now win the division? That's my question to you.
I feel like you have fallen down the Seahawks fan ranking so much lately, Mike. One, you didn't take him in Survivor yesterday when it was a gimme. Two, you're asking that question. Why do you have to caveat it with because the Niners are hurt, because the Cardinals are banged up, can the Seahawks win? Why can't they just be the best team, which they might actually be? I mean, the Rams look really good, so it might come down to the Rams and the Seahawks in the end, which will be the fascinating Cooper Kupp game, right? When he's on one side, but he knows McVay so well on the other. They're going to play twice this year. I think the Niners have been flawed from the jump. They got better with Mac Jones. They actually moved the ball better with him.
A little bit. He makes some mistakes. He likes throwing interceptions.
Yeah, he's on the comeback thing though. Like we got to put him in that comeback trail of the Daniel Jones and Bakers.
Can I say something? Mac Jones needs a stylist. That man is wearing oversized button-up coats during.
You know why? Because he's chubby.
But come on, I mean, the man is like making millions of dollars. He can buy like a nice fitted suit or like a nice shirt to wear. He doesn't have to wear an oversized. Like I literally saw it and I said, "Did they just get this man off the street?" Like that's
the
what
Niners quarterback room does not do fashion. You know, Brock Purdy is Mr. Coles. Mac Jones is like oversized Target sweatshirts. I don't know what's going on with him. If you watch any of that Niners Cardinals game. Didn't want to. Not much going on there. I don't have any faith in Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. This is like year 6 or 7 of this thing, and it's like Kyler at some point shit or get off the pot. Mike, in fantasy yesterday, we both made a crazy move. We both added Caleb Williams to our lineups and started him at QB. And it was a great move. And I did that over Kyler Murray, never looked back. Kyler Murray's getting dropped in fantasy football this year. Caleb Williams is my QB1. So it just shows you how far Kyler is. I don't know the Call of Duty schedule. Tell me if I shouldn't drop him. I don't know.
Mid-October, new Call of Duty's coming out. So
the Seahawks are a legit team. They're almost 3-0. I don't know why you're down on them. So.
I was down on them last week because there was a lot of hype. Everybody wanted to pick them. And we can talk Survivor in a little bit, but it just scared me a little bit. I know there might not be future value on them, but as the year goes on, there's a lot more future value than you think on a lot of other teams because of all these injuries, and teams are actually bad.
Yeah, keep the Bills alive.
Yes. Well, that Bills game was scary. All right, 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Cowboys bad or Bears good? That's what I wrote down. That was the only thing I got from that game.
Cowboys bad. Jerry dug his own grave. Literally, he might have a grave dug in Dallas somewhere ready for him to top in. And he might be hopping in on his own sooner than later because this team,
he needs to.
Watching this team's defense might have Jerry jump off. He might hire a GM because of this. He might give up the team. I don't know what's going to happen, but Jerry needs significant changes to keep owning this team. It's that bad. He mentioned playoffs after the game yesterday. Like they're still alive for the playoffs. And that's real cute and all at 1-2. It's like the worst defense in the history of the league type of stuff.
It's just bad. And like you made Caleb Williams look good. And that was the bad part about it. Listen, I share a team with our lawyer friend. Yeah. And for 2 days, he's like, we're going to do Caleb Williams. And I'm trying to make a trade. I'm trying to trade somebody to get a quarterback. And
who are you trying to get?
Our friend Sam. He has unrealistic views of trades, so he's out on the trade boat.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
You trade him something, he's like, no, actually, I want this. He wanted like our starting running back for a backup quarterback, basically.
Who's the QB you were going for? Tell the people.
We were going for either Drake May or Indiana Jones, and we were going to give him Mark Andrews. And we said, all right, Mark Andrews, maybe who knows what's going on, but we'll see tonight if he's really good. But he could still be a top 10 tight end, and we said, just we'll take Drake May. He didn't want that. He wanted one of our starting running backs for Drake.
Wow, he just got Indiana Jones off the waiver wire, as everyone did. He was not drafted in fantasy leagues, so that's a bad move by him. But you're good with Caleb. I think you need to stick with Caleb. Yeah. Playing your boys, the Raiders, this week. He's going to be fine.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm also off the Raiders fan boat for the next week because they're not doing good. They're not playing well. Gino's sleepy. Gino needs to get a consistent schedule, and once he gets good. Also, Genty, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he's not running. It's like there's not load management. I don't know why they keep talking about load management for a rookie that has not played in the NFL yet. Run this man. Push this man. Do some plays for this man. He needs to play, and he needs to play for my fantasy team. That's what he needs to do.
I don't know how the Raiders went to New England week 1 and won that game because they don't look like that anymore.
I know. One last thing. Vikings better off without JJ. That's what we got from the weekend.
Clearly, that was crazy. They look so competent on offense all of a sudden, and it really shows you Kevin O'Connell doesn't need much. You need like a guy off the street who's 40 years old, and that's all he really needs to build the playbook. It's like us in Madden. It's like if you have the best playbook in Madden, you don't have to be very good at it. Just run the plays they give you, hit your open man, your first look. It was well functioning all day, and it's been terribly functioning with J.J. McCarthy for 7 of his 8 quarters. So we talked about it last week. We may have broke the news. Phantom injury. O'Connell looked at the tape and diagnosed his quarterback with an injury. They're going to Europe for 2 weeks. They get to get away from the noise now and just go hang out, work Carson Wentz. This could save their whole season.
So I guess the question is, do they stay with Carson Wentz even when McCarthy's back from his
he's going to have a setback. O'Connell's going to see a setback on film, just like he saw the initial injury, and he's just gonna push him back again, and maybe and then at some point they're like 9-1. It's like you got to stick with Carson Wentz the rest of the way. Carson Wentz was not playing football. He was a Joe Flacco. He was at home with his family, just not planning to play, and he got a call. Like that's crazy to me. How
I love those calls.
Some of these guys, Mike, they obsess, right? They all off season. Everything is about game day. The Tom Brady style. He's not alone. Baker Mayfield takes it so seriously now all year long, and it's like, wow. This guy wasn't taking it seriously at all. It's almost like the carefree nature that we talk about with Bryce Young, or we talk about with leaving New York City all the time. That can help you every time.
You got to be chill. And sometimes I think it's about, you still want to care, but you want to have fun. But also, I think it's like the smarter you are, the better things happen. Because like you can see like people that can understand the game, they understand it so well when you're listening to the broadcast booth. Like you hear Tom Brady break down a play. It's like, he saw 25 things that we only saw one thing, like a guy just pass rusher or something. You see them talk about it in a way that you don't understand the game, and they understand the game. And a guy that's been in the game for so long, you can understand it a little better. Now, I don't know what's going on with Gino. I know he can understand the game, but he's not right now. But I think that's what the issue is. But yes, so Carson Wentz, he is now the Minnesota Vikings.
The difference with what's going on with Wentz in Minnesota is he went to a roster that's loaded with a great head coach, a genius. Geno Smith in Las Vegas, not a loaded roster. No geniuses on the coaching staff. Sorry, Pete Carroll. You're a vibes guy. You're not a genius.
He is an older guy. All right, do you want to recap our betting from last week?
I want to get to it real quick. I just have a quick stat for you that blew my mind this week. Kind of unrelated to the NFL even, although tonight on Monday Night Football, Stephen A. is doing Monday Night Countdown. Apparently, he's not on TV long enough. Stephen A. Smith is making $40 million a year from ESPN and Sirius. That is insane, Mike. Most athletes aren't making that. Only the top echelon of QBs are making that. When you sit there and think about Stephen A. Smith and his bad takes, I don't often think about how he's making more money than everyone he's talking about. That blew my mind.
I think the way he's basically now the face of ESPN, right? He is the guy that's like everywhere.
The face of Disney without Jimmy Kimmel, maybe.
Maybe. Well, we could talk about media too. I want to talk about something, not about that, but I just think that Stephen A. is now the guy. And if you're getting paid that much, you now do whatever we want you to do, and you're going to join Monday night. And tonight's on a doubleheader. Next week we have another doubleheader, but they smartened up. Right? And next week is a doubleheader that starts 15 minutes apart, which is much better.
Great for the multi-view. But did you see next week they're actually doing something different? They're doing a minor league football game alongside the major broadcast. I think it's like Commanders-Falcons are like the main game, but they're putting a minor league game at the same time, Jets and Dolphins.
It's going to be bad, Jeremy. Your team's so bad. It's so bad. It's so sad,
too.
Both
0-3. Someone has to win.
That is true. You almost beat Bills. I felt like you guys could have beat the Bills.
Good
We can talk-
segue. Good segue to where you're going.
Well,
right?
before I do that, why don't we talk media? Because I felt like last week we don't have to talk about political media
Whoa.
stuff. I wanted to talk about Warner Brothers almost being being purchased by Paramount or Netflix. I thought that was big because it feels like we're now going back to the old days where we will have cable and everything will just be on one channel or app. Because if Paramount buys them, I feel like it's Paramount, Warner Brothers, you got it all. And I feel like it's, I don't know, interesting move in media. What do you think?
We've been asking for that one destination where all of our content is, so you don't have to toggle the apps, whether you're watching sports or a show, and just have everything in one place, whether it's YouTube TV or Prime or any of those. Warner Brothers doesn't have a lot left to me. I'm not real intrigued by what does Warner Brothers Discovery still have in their portfolio?
Well, they have the franchises, which you can make a lot of movies
They have the franchise
from.
in the movie studio, and that's fine. Ellison is a movie guy. So fold that into Paramount. The Paramount movie brand hasn't been as big. So you have that. As far as the sports portfolio or the cable
CBS.
portfolio, CBS you get, CNN you get. I don't know how you would have CNN folded into CBS News. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know. CBS as a network is important because that is NFL games. The Masters, March Madness, I guess. I feel like we are getting to a point where obviously the industry needs to shrink and there will be less competitors.
Sure.
And so consolidation has to happen. The interesting thing, of course, is no one saw CBS being a buyer in this. We thought CBS would be one of the dyers in this because Sherry Redstone was literally dying as the head. But now they have a rich man, Oracle's son, leading it with a lot of money.
Well, he has so much money that they're going to buy it all in cash, right? It's not going to be like a stock deal. They're just
It's like a takeover. It's a takeover.
Yeah.
The board would have to approve it, but then Netflix always has more cash than Paramount. So Netflix can come over top of that with their own bid, and then they will have to accept the highest bid.
So to me, for some reason, Netflix buying Warner Brothers, Discovery, or whatever we want to call it, doesn't make as much sense. Do they sell off all the broadcast rights? Like, we don't want CNN, we don't want all this, unless they're consolidating into then all of a sudden, I know they're trying to do live stuff. Are you going to have live tabs? Is this going to be something live? Paramount makes more sense, but it feels like those are two, growing up, I feel like Paramount and Warner Brothers were big studios for us, making a lot of movies, doing a lot of things. And I just feel like it would make more sense for them together because it feels like they have a lot of stuff that could complement. Like Warner Brothers no longer has sports. Oh, well, Paramount has sports. We can kind of buy the catalog and be a bigger player in this. And it would basically be the big players, right? They would be among the bigger players like a Netflix and all that because they would have so much content in the database there, right? But if you go with Netflix, it's either then the smaller guys are going to die off or somebody's going to try to buy them all together, right?
Yeah, I guess merging Paramount Plus and HBO Max, Mike, that doesn't excite me that much. It doesn't bring me to the point of Netflix.
Sure.
It doesn't elevate that high. It just gets you a little bit higher. So are you a big player when you combine these two companies?
Well, I would say if Paramount, Warner Brothers together, so now you have HBO, you got Showtime, you got CBS, you got all these things and Superman and the DC with, I guess you fight against Amazon and Netflix are the next big players, right? I wouldn't put anybody else as the next. So you'd have the big three, and then you'd have a few others out there that are kind of still around.
Some guys have a lot of sports, right?
Some guys do. I mean, NBC, Peacock's still out there, but I just think that by one of them merging together would make them a bigger player, right? And that's what we kind of expect to see, but none of them make me excited. I just thought it was interesting that this is now even on the table. I don't know what Warner Brothers is doing. I feel like they cut everything, trashed movies, basically said, we'll make these movies, but we're not going to ever air them, like Batgirl. And I think what was the Coyote one? I think the Coyote one didn't get aired either. They canned a whole bunch of movies.
They've been making bad movies. But the idea that Netflix could use the linear channels of Warner Brothers Discovery, add the HBO brand into Netflix, that is an essential upgrade for Netflix. It would lessen your competitors by not letting them upgrade. And to Netflix, it would be like a drop in the bucket where Paramount spending all this money for Warner Brothers Discovery, it's not really unlimited money, right? I know they just did the UFC deal. They have so many deals.
I think it is. I think it's truly unlimited money. I think they have hundreds.
Like Tim Cook money?
They have hundreds and billions of dollars. The Ellisons, they have so much money. You don't know what they could literally buy all of them if they wanted to. I think that's how much money they have.
That's no fun.
But I guess the thing is, it's if you go to Netflix, I feel like I would say it's not fair to everybody else because you would be buying all these franchises, all these networks, and it feels like you would just be unstoppable. But if a NBC or a Paramount or an Amazon bought them, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, you guys need this. You need to have more. Netflix feels like they're at the top of their game. I don't know if they need this right now, but who knows?
I agree with you. No matter what happens, any cash takeover, any bids like that, they need to be approved by the FCC and the Trump White House. And so we know that whoever's getting involved in this deal is going to make cancellations, change their content on behalf of the White House, party of one, and the FCC chair, party of one. And we have nothing bad to say about the situation because Brendan Carr from the FCC is an amazing person. And we just want to stay on the air. The Sports Hangover has been on the air for 15 years, and we want to stay on the air for 15 more. So we're not going to say anything disparaging about the current state of things, but it's fucking crazy.
I will say that the way that we have these things, because when I worked in radio back in like the early 2000s, the FCC was there saying you can't say these things, you can't do these things. But I think at this point, we're to a point now where I think on the town they described it's like you don't need these broadcast television people. You could go do it yourself on YouTube. Like right now, we're on YouTube. Yeah. We're on TikTok. We're everywhere.
Oh, he can pull our license if he wants to.
It's just now we're up to the platforms instead of the FCC rules. So it's like somebody's always kind of in charge of your content because you can still get deplatformed. But yes, there are rules out there. But yeah.
That was the other thing. You mentioned TikTok. Ellison might be bidding on TikTok, might be owning 80% of it. So now, if you add that to your conversation of the movie studio, the cable, the streaming, plus TikTok, now you're talking about like a 360 where people might interact with your apps and only your apps like all day. And that's like the holy grail in a way. So to me, TikTok is so much more a big part of this. And that shows you where we're at in this day and age, that TikTok is just as big a deal or bigger than a movie studio like Warner Brothers.
You can just make so much money now from being like a TikTok famous person. You can go out there and have a whole career. People just literally make videos and are influencers making their lives off TikTok. And you're seeing the creators do a lot of stuff now. And it's like these platforms are where people are going. But I will say YouTube did come out with some like new features, which we have to try out. They have live streaming now where you live stream this view, the 16:9, and also the format for TikTok. You can stream instantly there to both platforms at once, which is
apparently,
kind of cool.
Mike, YouTube is suppressing live viewership compared to videos that are posted organically. So that's a heads up on that.
Really? I didn't know that.
YouTube is not leaning into live. Maybe they should, like Netflix and others are, but right now they are suppressing it for other types of videos.
Interesting. Yeah, I was going to say we should try it out because they launched all their new creator features.
We can try it and see how it goes.
All right, let's talk
money.
Yeah, let's talk bets. Jeremy, your survivor pick last week was the Seahawks, which...
Yeah, I turned it off after it was 14-0, 8 minutes into the game. An easy one, Mike, no sweat.
Yeah.
You had a different team. You had the Bills on Thursday night. That was surprising because I sent you a stat right before where winless teams on Thursday Night Football in the last 15 games were 14-0-1 against the spread. So you knew the Dolphins would cover. And for a while, they were right there. I think it was tied at halftime. How'd you feel?
It was a scary game. A lot of 14-14. You're like, what is going on right now? Scary. This is my thought. I wanted to use a safe team. I wanted to get to next week. We saw Green Bay get knocked out. We saw who else get knocked out? Did Washington get knocked out? No,
the Bucs nearly got knocked out.
The Bucs almost got knocked out. A lot of these teams, we knew something was going to happen.
The Falcons got knocked out.
Falcons.
Wait, you saved mutual friend from getting on the Packers. Is that correct?
He wanted the Packers. He said Packers was his number one. I didn't feel comfortable. I kept saying the defense, like I feel like they could keep it close and blah blah blah. But I said that about every team. But I just said Buffalo. This is the team we're going to go through. This week is a lot harder. We can go over this week if you really want to real quick. I have
just to last week for a second. The Packers, we were texting, and I said in the morning, the Packers and or Bucks will lose today. I was almost 2 for 2. That was amazing. The Packers I got right. You can't take a team like the Packers, who have an amazing home field advantage, and take them in Survivor on the road. That's a non-starter for me. So the idea that so many folks went for that move was crazy. We saw we talked about in the last week's show, the Browns will shut down what they want to shut down. They shut down Burrow and Derrick Henry, two of the best at what they do, and sure enough, they made Jordan Love look like an asshole.
And it was, so I think about 17% of the circuit contest got knocked out with
shocked it was that high, seriously. Falcons, now, I like the Falcons. I thought about the Falcons for a while myself. Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about the Falcons.
I'll never think
I
about
want to
them
go
again.
with teams I like kind of trust a little bit.
Yeah.
And this week is obviously, if you did not play Buffalo last week, Buffalo this week is the easiest. They're playing
They're playing the Saints at
New
home,
Orleans.
which
Yes.
goes against my manifesto. Don't pick on the same team 2 weeks in a row. I did it with Russ, and he almost burned me in week 2. I don't think the Saints have the same magic in them. The Bills are the safest pick because I want you to go down past the Bills here because we're in two different situations. I have a wedding next weekend. My brother's getting married. Shout out to Cody.
Love it.
It's his last cruise, so we got the shirt on. Got the wedding next weekend. I'm doing wedding festivities. I'm not watching ball on Sunday, so I can't be sweating things out. I'm going to take the Bills. I just feel like you're not going to have a lot of great options as you go down this list.
So, I mean, last week we focused in on taking the Chargers. We said, okay, Chargers are our pick this week. If we advance past Buffalo, Chargers are the pick. They're playing the Giants this week. Feels safe. Feel like things could go wrong, but how do you feel about playing Detroit at home against Cleveland? I don't feel great about that one. We can't play Denver, but Denver playing Cincinnati.
You can't go against Cleveland after what we saw yesterday, right?
Exactly. Houston at Tennessee, maybe they need the win, but how bad is Houston and Tennessee on the same level at this point? And you're just flipping a coin to see who wins the game. That's
They're
how
both
I feel about
0-3.
it. Yeah. And then Green Bay at Dallas, kind of a revenge game, but that could kind of blow up in their face a little bit. But Green Bay could be a good option this week. But I think my number one, if I ranked it, it would be Chargers, Green Bay, Detroit for me, for my path along Circa Survivor.
Wow. I mean, Chargers look good. You're going to take an LA team going to New York in that early window. The manifesto would not support such a move right out of the jump.
But who else are you going to take? You could look down the list. I'm not taking Indy at the Rams. I can't. There's a lot of games I don't want to play, so I'm not going to. This is a hard week, and we knew week 4 to 6 is hard. Next week's really hard too. Not a lot of good matchups.
I know.
So you got to survive this week. So we'll see where we're at.
I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Packers are a decent pick. I'm glad you brought that up. I think motivation matters a lot. The Packers beat the Commanders. They were an easy 2-0. And they went on vacation for 3 days a few weeks ago. Now they lost. They're pissed, and they're going to Dallas for the Micah revenge game. So the Cowboys, now they might also be pissed by how they're playing, but they can't stop anybody. So the Packers are going to score 50 points in that game. Take the over. Hammer it. I think the Packers are a decent pick.
So CD's out for, I think, 4 to 6 weeks. He's injured.
Is that true? I didn't see that.
I thought I saw an alert that he was out.
That's a big
he's
deal.
going to be out. We're recording this Monday before Monday Night Football, so we're getting news alerts as the show goes on.
I like that almost more than the Chargers. Something about that Chargers setup. It's also, Brian Daboll has not committed to Russell Wilson. He said he's leaving the door open this week. They're evaluating tape. You definitely can't play the Chargers if it's Jackson Dart because that's an unknown. You can't bet the unknowns, right?
Honestly, if it was Jameis, I probably would be more scared because a rookie stepping in to a game who's only been there for a few weeks. I don't trust enough. I think he can make a few.
Local knowledge. Let me tell you what's going on here. They love
what's
Jackson
going on.
Dart. They love
New
him.
York
They
boy.
want to pull Russ. They just are afraid to do it for what it does to Russ's confidence. So I think Jackson Dart's going to come in and play well the moment he does. And if he's starting this week, there's no way you can take the Chargers. And I'll come back on this show next week and give you shit if you do and they lose. So remember that. The other two, like you mentioned.
Yes.
You mentioned the Lions. First glance, Lions at home against the Browns. That's great.
76% chance of winning.
I will not touch a team that just demolished 20% of survivors. I won't do it. They're a decent team. The Browns might be a playoff team if they had an offense. Can't do it. There's a sharp play in here, Mike. I'm seeing a sharp play. It takes some
Houston?
stones. Yeah, it's balls of steel. A 0-3 team in Survivor. It would be crazy, but people will be on the Texans this week, and I think it's a sharp play because you're not going to take them much throughout the year. They're at home. They're pissed. They're 0-3. They're playing Cam Ward, who might be the worst team in the league so far. It's a great setup for the Texans. They haven't played bad in their games. If 2 plays go differently in each game, they're 3-0. They almost beat the Bucks on Monday Night Football 2 weeks ago. I think the Texans are the sharp play. I'm not doing it. I'm on the Bills, but I like the Texans.
I don't love it. It scares me, and it's okay, so now our value of our ticket is worth $1,300. We are not selling yet. Our goal is to sell at Christmas time. We already penciled in who we're playing for Christmas, by the way, when we make it there, because in the Circa you have to play Christmas Day.
Bro, that's in 3 months.
I know. I know.
You have sweat through 3 Sundays in a row. You have had
know.
no sweat Sundays, and now... Oh,
All right, so I will be talking to the mutual friend. We will be deciding, but those are my ranking of the picks.
So you think Packers is most likely? Or Chargers, you said.
I think Chargers most likely because there's no those kind of like Green Bay, Dallas, now that there's like bad blood, it could go any different way, but there's no running game there. You don't have CD anymore. Like it looks like it should be an easy win, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's a scary week. We just got to survive. We're trying to win $18 million here. Okay.
That's crazy. It's really going up a lot.
It is.
Yeah. Tell us about
so
your big bet this week.
So my road to 10K, I bet on Indy. That was an easy one. I feel like people were thinking it wasn't easy. It was like, oh, it's a trap game, blah, blah, blah.
Why didn't we talk about them in Survivor?
We put them in we're in the same Survivor pool as you. We put them in one pick for Survivor. I think because of the years of the trends and all this stuff, I think looking at trends messes with minds playing sports. I think you got to look at this season and this season only. When everybody's running data on last season and this happening, everything changes. Coordinators change, players change, offensive line changes. How do you factor all that in? I don't believe it anymore. I think you got to look at these games this year. Daniel Jones looks great, stoppable. I put money on him. We are now up to $575 from $100. We're doing great. And I already placed my bet. Before the show, I sat here.
Oh my God.
I said, who am I putting my money on for the road to 10K? Jeremy, after this week and next week, it starts getting higher and higher, and we're going to start putting $2,000, $3,000 down soon. It's going to get.
God.
It's
You're on the
get
Bills
really
money
scary.
line.
I have the Chargers money line.
Oh, God, you made the bet and I just did all that? No wonder you looked uncomfortable during all of that.
Yeah, I put it on there. If we win, we will be up to $784. Now, listen, you could put it on Buffalo, but the problem with Buffalo is it's like minus, like last week on Sunday, I looked at Buffalo money line again. It was like minus 1,200. Like you're not going to win any money that way. So I'm like, all right, I got to find something like in the, 3 to 7 range, somewhere around there. Chargers. So road to 10K, I got $575 on the Chargers playing the New York Giants. You don't like it.
I think Jackson
like
Dart's
it.
going to play this week based on what I saw last night and what I'm hearing on the streets this morning when I went for my coffee walk. Jackson Dart, I think, is going to play this week.
Okay.
And that's just a variable I can't account for. Maybe he's terrible. Maybe the Chargers win, but I can't account for that.
I just think if KC can go in there and barely win and Chargers can play KC and beat them, I feel like I have the better team coming.
Mike, I had a bet on the Chargers yesterday against the Broncos, feeling really good about them. And I go to check that game. They're down 10 points in the third quarter at home to Bo Nix. I was like, this is not the Chargers I thought you were. This is the same old Chargers. They came back and won. Like you said, you gave Justin Herbert his flowers. They didn't look great.
They didn't. Yeah, I agree. Listen, it's a scary bet, but last week, I feel like talking about it, like, oh man, maybe I am wrong. Maybe Indiana Jones is going to regress. Maybe this is the New York Giants in Indiana Jones. This isn't the guy. I feel like we get in our heads a lot. I'm just taking it week by week. If I see something, I'm believing in that. Also, I heard Kevin Clark, your boy, right? I heard him on a podcast. And he was talking, and I felt like this was such a good insight that he gave. He said, most teams have no fucking clue what they're doing for the first 4 weeks of the year. And I said, man, that's great. I really like that because that means don't drop these players you pick up on fantasy in week 1. They don't perform. Don't drop them week 2. Don't drop them week 3. They will pop off one of these weeks. You will save them. They're figuring things out. Teams are figuring it out, and you're kind of seeing what these teams are. So I really, really like that insight. Was like that clicked for me. I'm like, makes total sense. No one knows what the fuck's happening. So I thought it was
He's a smart
great
guy.
insight.
He has good takes in the Take Factory.
He does. So I thought that was a great take. Jeremy, let's talk bets real quick. Your record now. So the thing is, you said something on the show, but you emailed me your official bets.
Which you emailed out to the listeners. It's not like I'm keeping them secret. It's just that Mondays, it's hard to have picks, so we email them on Wednesdays.
Yes. So, but I have picks. Honestly, I'm doing better just picking Monday. Your record right now is 4-6, minus 6-4. My round robin lost because of who did I lose because of? I lost because of the Raiders. But Bills and Indy Bills and Indy.
You know what I did? I had a crazy parlay that I would have hit. I had a money line parlay. That had it was actually with the line. It was with the line. It was Browns, Jets. So those both hit. Chiefs And then I folded in the Falcons like an idiot just because I thought it was automatic, and it blew up my parlay. And I need to listen to my own advice from Brent Musburger. Don't parlay. Just go bet the games. If you have a thought, if you think the Packers are going to struggle with the Browns, bet that game. Why am I tying myself up to 3 other outcomes? It's like I learned something the hard way this weekend.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking? It's like I now know there's 3 teams I have to pick from. I need to do all the research for Survivor just on these 3 teams and see what's going on. I don't need to think about 25 other teams or anything like that. Just focus on this.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I got some good bets this week. I was sitting on the toilet this morning. I was thinking, we should really do this by units, like how many units we want to put on it and how much you win from it, instead of just like winning bets or losing bets, because it depends how much you put on it. But we don't have to start that this year. But I was just thinking down the road,
you need like
whatever
a big
your
scoreboard build out for that, right?
Yeah, $25. That's my unit bet. This is 25 to 1. I won this much, because sometimes these bets are going to hit a little bigger than others.
Yeah.
But this week I kept it. I did a tease and a parlay. I felt like last week you didn't like just my straight money line bets like you just talked about.
No, didn't like
which
it.
you might like them today because you thought about it. Yeah. But here is my parlay money line bet. I got Buffalo, Denver, and the Chargers. Chargers is really attached to a lot of things right now. 3-game parlay that is bet on my bookie currently.
Who's Denver playing?
Denver. Where is Denver?
Playing the Raiders?
Yeah, I think they're playing the Raiders.
Just makes sense.
Hold on, where are they? I can't even find them on my sheet.
I have no idea who they're playing.
No, Bears are playing the Raiders. Browns are playing the Lions.
Broncos?
Where are they? And then who's in Ireland this week?
Well, the Steelers Vikings are in Ireland. Aaron Rodgers is bringing his
Steelers Vikings. Okay. Why
there.
can't I find where Denver is? I can't even see them on my sheet.
Do the Broncos
they're
have a
playing
bye
Monday
week?
night back to back. They're playing Cincinnati.
Oh, that's the other game. Bo Nix, Jake Browning. That's so watchable. I don't mind that. The Bengals look really bad against the Vikings, so that's probably a good bet. Not a good game to watch. Okay, so that's a not a money line. That's with the spread or money line?
All money line. Buffalo, Denver, Chargers, money line.
So 3 decent favorites.
Then I got a tease. I got a 7-point tease. I'm playing Seattle +8, Chargers +1, Buffalo -9.5, Indy +10.5, and Green Bay as a pick'em. That's my bet this week. Only
Green
2
Bay's
bets.
a pick'em. Teased it all the way down. Packers Cowboys is interesting. It'd be more interesting if the Cowboys didn't suck. But Micah going back to Dallas is something that's watchable on Sunday night. I will be taking the Chargers to lose in my best bets, so to not cover.
No, you're
not the
not.
Giants money line. I'm going to take Giants +6 based on everything we've talked about so far.
Wow.
I'm on Giants +6 right off the bat. That was unplanned. Just decided it.
Wow. Everything's attached to that right now, Jeremy. I got parlays. I got my road to 10K attached to that.
Mike,
and
you didn't
maybe
check
Survivor.
with the local guy who's on the streets talking to folks about what happened yesterday.
I just don't think they're good enough. I don't like it.
We'll email my best bets out. I'm thinking about the Texans are sharp play, as I mentioned, so we might dabble there. But again, it's Monday. I'm still coming off the high of yesterday's Survivor win. I just got to see how it plays out this week.
Okay. All right. Good show. Check us out on Substack. Subscribe to us on Substack. Pay a little monthly fee, get a little extra content. We're putting out extra content every week. Find us on YouTube. Just subscribe there. Easy. Just click a button. You don't even have to watch us there. Just watch us in the Substack videos that come directly to your emails.
In your inbox. It's so easy. We're sending picks. We're sending best bets. We're sending Survivor picks there. You get to watch us. You get to listen to us. It's all there.
It's great. All right. Good show, Jeremy. See you.